It's Sondheim. All right, and we're back, everybody. Hello. It is I, Harrison. Welcome to Super Mind Exploder. We're in the guest block, deep in the guest block with Lord Goo. Streaming now on
these
Twitch.
graphics are great.
Oh, thanks. I've been playing around too, man. Being clean on social media, off social media, dude. I've had a lot of free time to dick around on this app.
It's a fun thing to just get really high and fuck around with.
Sure is. All right, folks, so this is what we are doing this evening. We are going to attempt, between Bobby and I, to put together this this tier list of the musicals of Stephen Sondheim. I think Sondheim on Sondheim is in here, too.
Oh, yeah, that's what the picture of Sondheim is. I don't know that one.
I don't really either, but we can always give a goog.
Well, that can go to No Feeling.
Yeah, okay, so let's open it up. Let's kick it off and make this a little easier by running through what these are and saying which ones we have no feeling on, because I think we have some that line up. So, Funny Thing Happened Away on the Forum we'll keep in here. A Little Night Music we'll keep in. Anyone Can Whistle, do you know that well?
Well, I mean, I know a lot of the songs.
I do too, okay, we'll keep that one.
Song.
We can keep that one in. Company. Is this Do I Hear a Waltz? Yes.
Oh, fuck that.
No Feeling. Okay, Follies, Gypsy, Into the Woods, Merrily, Pacific Overtures, Assassins, Passion, Roadshow, which I have feelings about. But
you have feelings. I don't know it really at all. I just know that they never quite got it. Makes me sad because I didn't realize it was a John Weidman, and he's one of my favorite. I mean, Hugh Wheeler is my favorite Sondheim collaborator, but John Weidman's right up there. But Hugh Wheeler, those are the two best books. Sweeney and A Little Night Music, I think.
And he wrote Assassin's book, too.
Yeah, John Weidman did Assassins and Pacific Overtures.
Mm-hmm.
So he kicks ass.
Well, we're going for agreement, and we have no feelings that are strong between the two of us, so I'll put that there.
That's fair.
Saturday Night, I don't know shit about shit.
Yeah, that's definitely No Feeling.
Yeah. That might be the leader of No Feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Sometime on Sondheim, let's just put it down there because...
we're not counting the reviews.
Reviews are not the canon. No. Okay, so yeah, this is pretty good. Frogs, I know enough about to put in there. No Evening Primrose.
Is Johnny on the Mind Sugar account?
I think Johnny is
okay.
on the Mind Sugar.
Johnny's telling me to listen to Saturday Night. I'll seek it out. I mean, you don't have to twist my arm to listen to Sondheim. It's fine.
Dude, yeah.
I will seek out Saturday Night. Okay. All right, now let's get into this.
Okay, so we got to start with the oops category. Do we feel there are any oopses?
Frogs.
I would agree. I think there's like a good song in there, but it is overall an oops. What the fuck was he thinking?
He was thinking, wouldn't it be like funny to do a musical in a pool?
Oh, the old metamorphosis trick.
But that's like they originally did it in
wait, really?
The like Yale pool or something, right? Wasn't that it?
Giving it a goog. Welcome to Giving It a Goog with me and Lord Goo.
We're giving it a goog.
The Frogs, Yale Pool. Yeah, that's fucking insane.
I think that's the only outright oops.
Yeah, I'm about to post this in this article in the Twitch chat.
And was I right about Yale too?
Yeah, you sure were.
Yes.
We love folks, we love to see it. Where the Twitch app very it's confusing. Oh, here we go.
Meryl Streep was in it?
Whoa. Okay. And
because it was like a thing in because it was just like a thing in his fucking desk drawer for like 20 years, and then he was like, oh, this would be fun to do with Nathan Lane. Glad they had a good time. I think, and then it was Nathan Lane and Roger Bart, wasn't it?
I think so. in the revival. Let me open the Wikipedia page, the bastion of truth on the internet.
We've already talked too much about frogs. We've talked more about the frogs. Although
Guys, we can talk about. We're talking frogs.
Nathan Lane at the Sondheim celebration in April had a really funny frogs joke. That was really good.
That's honestly my favorite way to recall jokes is to just hear.
Oh yeah, that's right, Christopher. Okay, maybe I knew this. Well, I knew that Christopher Durang did lots of shows with Sigourney Weaver and like their best friends.
All right. Okay.
Okay, we're going to Fair.
Let's move up. Should we move up to Fair? I don't feel like there's any other ones that I would put down in the Oops category. Yeah.
No, because
honestly, though, it could be argued that Merrily is an Oops.
No.
I love it. It's one of my favorites. But in terms of the canon of Sondheim, you've seen the documentary, correct? I cried through it.
But that's the thing is that he fixed it significantly.
He did.
In the revival. So
he sure did. The original is weird to listen to.
But also, I love that Franklin Shepherding. I love Lonnie Price's Franklin Shepherding a lot.
I'll never take anything back. Just kidding. In the chat. I take it back. I did. I added a huge addendum to it. I made one statement with asterisks.
What's she mad about?
Take it back, Harrison and all cat. We're doing a troll on
Merrily. About putting Merrily in the we're not putting Merrily.
It was just a hot take. I was being zesty. Okay, moving on to Fair.
Anyone Can Whistle.
I was good. I have that. I also the book is good, and there's a couple good songs, but Gypsy could very easily be in that.
It's too good of a role. It's too good.
That's true. Roles. That's true as well. That bumps up the show's clout.
Has two incredible. It's like it's a showcase for two great actors. I mean, Rose's Turn was like really revolutionary, and that's big Sondheim. That's like I mean, obviously like, he did the music, but like, tell me that song wasn't just written by Sondheim. Like it's. You can just hear him all over that.
Where it's going to get tricky is this top three now, honestly. Because, like, the only other one that I feel like is kind of fair... I mean, because we got to get serious, man. We're talking about the best... What's tough about this, and I'm having trouble, too, is, like, really triaging. Because we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
All right. You ready for my Sondheim hot take? I've never said this, and now I'm saying it on your stream. I've never been able to really. I like some of the songs, but I just don't get Follies. It just never.
I agree with you.
I don't know if it goes in Fair necessarily. I mean, there are enough classic songs in it, but I mean, and maybe it does.
We're talking about the best composer ever, and you're saying a musical of his is you're essentially saying it's meant to you. We're composing lists together. I feel similar about that. I think that we could stand to be a little more critical. I mean, granted, it's hard to judge, like, we're judging a bunch of Mona Lisas right now and saying which one is better than the other one.
I mean, part of it is, like, I haven't seen it in production. I tried to watch a bootleg of, Eric Schaeffer's production at the Kennedy Center with Bernadette Peters. And I was trying to watch it, and it was a fine bootleg. Like, it was showing the whole stage. I mean, it was kind of blurry, but, like, people were walking out for entrances and getting applause. I was like, I have no fucking idea who that is. You can't see them. But I just got so bored. And I never get bored at Sondheim.
No, and it seems like it's pretty book-heavy, right? Like, there's a lot of book. And I don't know who did
and that's the other thing, is that the songs then, like, when you listen to them, I'm just like, it's all over the place, and like I understand like the general story and the feeling and you know,
emotion he's trying to evoke,
right, and it does the great Sondheim thing of letting the music doing a lot to establish the world and the sound of like the world, because it is that like sort of Follies big show tune kind of, which is fun to see Sondheim do, but.
Is it easier to make it more Sondheim centric? And I don't think it will change much of what we already have. Will it make it a more interesting debate? I think it could, to go on score alone.
So, well, that's a whole different thing then. I mean,
from where we are though, we're leaving the point where we've had strong feelings.
Well, but I think that it's like part of what makes him really awesome is like I like to talk about his book collaborators because he hasn't ever worked with a book collaborator just once. Like he goes back to them, and like that's part of what I think is really cool is like but also he has like had 4 or 5 that he's done repeats with, and all those shows are kind of distinct. But like the Wheeler shows kind of make sense together, and the Weidman shows, and the James Lapine shows. So I think that that's part of. I do think that part of like the debate should be what's the best overall show, like what's the best collaboration, kind of. And
that's true. I will agree with you, and we will continue on our journey. All right, so now I think we can discuss between these top 3 tiers all of these pretty interchangeably and openly. So let's get things kicking. I'll start by making a neutral-ish play, and I will put if there's not disagreement, I think I would put Assassins in the excellent category, or perhaps the God tier.
No, I wouldn't put it in God tier, but excellent.
Excellent.
It's still a show that like it's tough to crack.
Well, because it doesn't really have a stance on what it is a vaudeville in a sense. Like there is no real stance on what happens. Like having watched it 900,000 times at Redacted, like it truly ultimately ends up, and maybe that obviously could have been the production as always, but like even in reading it, like it does kind of walk away like with a wink and a nod, and like in that.
Well, that's my favorite thing about Sondheim is that he doesn't. And it's also like something like the films of the Coen brothers, is that I like that sort of artistic point of view that doesn't take a side, but lets you really sit in the discomfort and lets you really like live in that unexplainable kind of like what even is, like why does this even happen? Is there any kind of morality? Is there any?
It's so funny. Cornel West on Joe Rogan, like 2 years ago, said that Sondheim is our modern philosopher. Like there is no like what he manages to evoke and the meditations on the human experience that he provides are so rich and like they are modern philosophy. Like, which that's a hot take. I'll take it.
No, I mean I've gone on record as saying he's the greatest American artist of all time, living or dead, and that. But like, yeah, I think he's right on, and the range of human emotion and experience that, and like, yeah, everything.
What do you think's the ultimate takeaway from Assassins?
Well, I think.
Or what is your takeaway at this moment? Because I know the show's evolved for me too, like a lot.
Well, I think the show is ultimately about the whole package of the American dream, that when you sell that promise, what that really means, like what you're unleashing is what the Pandora's box is there. And
it's the fundamental lie. Like, I feel like the whole show's about the fundamental lie of America and what that does to, like, start people's existence off with lie. Well, no other country really does that. Like, no other country really is like, if you work hard and you will be a success. Like, drive, baby, drive, 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 you know?
Right, and it's about how it's a country so focused on, a country so focused on celebrating the individual and individualism and what happens when an individual is desperate and failed and mentally ill and, like X, Y, and Z.
Capable of, and what happens what are the consequences of individualism when individuals can change the course of history, you know, with all you got to do is move your little finger.
Right, and it's like, isn't that the ultimate expression of individualism? Like, what is a more powerful
act
that an individual can take? So isn't that a part of the American dream? So it's like letting you sit in that discomfort. And I do think it's brilliant. But yeah, because what it's trying to do is almost so impossible. But also, if given the opportunity and the budget to direct
do it on Twitch
with my concept, honestly,
direct a filmed version. I know about this.
Possibly could.
I'll help you do it. I've been thinking about trying to produce shows on here.
I could cast Kate. Kate would do it because it's her favorite show.
I have some plays. And you could do that show specifically on Twitch. We need to talk. Let's talk off here, especially the way you want to.
Well, but the rights get tricky. But anyway,
dude. But they're starting to do stuff. They're starting to allow people to stream.
I want to do it on stage because I want it to be like that network revival that just happened too. Like if I was able to do my concept, then it would go God tier because I have it cracked, but just it hasn't seen the light of day yet.
We can't build sets in people's houses or build setups to make it work. I'm telling you, it's the future.
We're talking about Assassins right now, Christina.
And also Pacific Overtures is on here. It's in the corner with the American flag. I had to Google what the poster was because I wasn't familiar with the poster.
Yeah, that's the original.
Okay,
I would say Forum goes in good.
I would agree with you 100%. I think that's a very, very funny show. The book is great. It's a big fun.
I want to do it. I love it.
Dude, I mean,
the movie's awesome too.
I don't think I've ever seen the movie.
It's great. It cuts a lot of the songs, but I mean, Zero Mostel is like amazing. Phil Silver is like a really funny guy from that time too. So.
Okay. Next, where are we gonna put Merrily? Now that we've already done
Merrily goes in good as well. Agreed. I think.
Yeah.
Merrily goes in good. Honestly, the overture alone. The overture, like alone, puts it.
Oh yeah, dude. That and the overtures to City of Angels are like two of my favorite overtures.
Oh yeah.
City of Angels overture slams. Say Wet Soup if you love the overture to City of Angels, baby. Or Merrily We Roll Along. Hey baby, say Wet Soup if you are if you're
vibing on some
Joe vibing.
Merrily.
On some Merrily overture or some City of Angels overture. Put it in there. Yeah. 2 wet soups. I'll hit you with one too. Hit me with the wet soup. Come on and hit me with the wet soup. Okay, back to work. All right, so yeah, Merrily is fantastic. This is getting sweaty right now. All right, so Gypsy.
There's a few more really easy calls, I think. Though.
Okay, Gypsy is good.
Yeah, Gypsy's good.
Into the Woods is good or excellent.
I always say it's too long.
It is too long, and you can cut it. You could cut so much. The book is way too freaking long, and the story's not that complicated.
But at the same time, it's a good intro to Sondheim show for people, especially kids, because kids still like it because, like,
it's fun,
it's understandable, and it's fun to see the fairy tales interact with like each other. And also, I really love that, there are productions done with kids that only do the first act, and I think that's really funny and great. But I do think, good as well for Into the Woods.
I could agree. I just think what it achieves, and I know it's too
long. Wow, Johnny's saying God tier Into the Woods. So see, now we
Into the Woods is excellent. I think it's excellent because what it achieves is stunning, right? Like it lures you into a very fun, cutesy story.
And moments in the woods alone as well. Okay, fine.
And that's children will listen at the end as the capper.
Yeah.
And it may honestly get moved. Everything's going to be... We're going to take another look at it before we go through, before we say that what we're doing.
Okay, Johnny's asking what the God tier. This is the easiest call of the night. Is Sweeney Todd is God tier.
Sweeney Todd is God tier. Sunday in the Park might be God tier. The only other thing I would argue...
Sunday is also, I think, Sunday is excellent because Sunday is another flawed one. The second act is not as strong.
Okay, hold on. Would you say, I think Night Music could also be a God tier. I mean, West Side Story is one of the great American musicals. It's God tier, I think. But what do you think?
That's interesting that Caroline's dad's favorite is Into the Woods. I don't know, like, I like it. It's just, it's not as, and that's interesting that as a conductor, too.
Oh my God, chat is, we've hit a nerve. This is the most, I've said stuff about.
Sweeney's a perfect show. It's perfectly composed. It's Swiss watch.
It's a Swiss watch, baby. It's a swatch show. You know what I'm talking about?
And that's what it's also about too. It's about the sort of like.
It's about Swiss watches. Is all Sondheim deeply flawed? Yes, because it's about humans, and humans are deeply flawed.
Well, and this is the other thing, and this is one of the points that I meant to make on my stream on Wednesday, but I was too tired. Is that musicals are hard.
They're a wash. You cannot get nuance. You cannot possibly achieve nuance in the medium because there's always.
It's like you get. That's why sometimes it's like, oh, this song, this moment, this character, because there's so many moving pieces to it, and I love learning about Sondheim's sort of process and Six by Sondheim when he talks about how much he loves crossword puzzles and stuff, and that's kind of how his mind works. And when he's putting together, there's so many moving parts that you're putting into. What's flawed about Act 2 of Sweeney Todd? Excuse me, Joanna Part 2 and then City on Fire? That's the jam.
I will say that is my hot take is that every show should be under 2 hours and 15 minutes with intermission. You can get it done, I promise.
You could cut by the sea for sure, but I mean
And some of the book.
But are you going to tell Angela Lansbury in 1970 something that she shouldn't get another comedic song? Also, it does kind of serve a part in the show if it's directed well. It has a function in the show. It has a function in the show. It has a place.
Sweeney Todd is up there because, in terms of the Sondheim, it is of any of his shows, I think it gives the actor the cleanest narrative to perform. It's probably the easiest one if you understand how to follow Sondheim's music and the cues he's giving you. I don't know if he's written a more clear roadmap for actors to perform than that show. Because every role is extremely simple to do if you just sing the music how it's written and feel the music behind you. And that's
one where, you want to talk about the music making the world. The music creating the tone and, it is that grand guignol. I don't know how to fucking say it, but the grand guignol. I'm going to type it in the chat because I don't know how to pronounce it. Only read it.
The grand guignol.
It's a real thing, but it's from what its roots were, of the story and stuff. And also, and this is the real reason it's God tier, and I think Caroline will be done with this, and why it's my favorite Sondheim, my favorite show, is it's the best anti-capitalist work of the 20th century. Do not at me. Do not at me.
I think you should, honestly, everybody should at Lord Gugu right now in the chat. Everybody at Bobby about this. And just, even if you know nothing about Sweeney Todd or musicals, just give him a fuck you.
Best anti-capitalist work. That's what it's also all about. It's about how we just seek our own ends and use people and y'all.
It's goog y'all. It's goog y'all. I honestly would argue that I also we'll come back to that.
Excuse me, but I'll just say what other show has you literally laughing about eating the rich?
That's correct.
In the 20th century.
He's not wrong.
It has an entire audience laughing about the idea of eating the rich.
He's not wrong.
Case closed.
I would say that the next debate that I'd like to have is West Side. Well, Actually, let's put Pacific Overtures in there. I'd say excellent or good. I only am just as well becoming familiar with this show as well.
You should really watch it.
I've watched pieces of it. I've not seen the whole thing.
Watch the whole thing.
From what I've seen, it's unreal.
No, because so here are the things that I didn't know is that it's really funny, like really fun. Did it because like you can't like it never gets performed.
It's a masterpiece.
But it's awesome, and like I want.
I wish more shows were like that. That they filmed more fucking shows.
Like I want people to take a look at that. Like think about a film adaptation of that, or like another revival of that, or something. Like,
I do like that. From what I've
seen, really
seen,
deserves a second life. And Something in a Tree is just unreal. And it's not the only really great song. That's the thing. Is actually all the songs, especially in the context they use in the show, are really really good. Yeah, film the shows, but also at the same time, it doesn't really capture the experience. But like, it's so deeply culturally felt and like performed, and all the actors are so wonderful. Especially there's this one guy that I just love. You saw on my stream. Like,
I love this. He's so good.
And that it's like, but as I'm watching it, especially because they like use audience entrances and stuff, I was like, I really do wish I could be there, which is, I guess, a great thing for film theater to accomplish.
Dude.
Yeah, everything about the music, like everything about how it evolves in the show and how he uses both the folk styles of theater and like the ancient
and the scale.
And the music tradition, how that modernizes in a way too, and it's real beautiful.
It's real beautiful. Okay.
But I think excellent.
I would say that I think Company is good. I like some of the parts and none of the whole of that show, honestly. I like what it does.
It's one of the weaker, it's like one of the weaker books because it's
a series
of
journals.
It's like sketches. It's like sketches, yeah.
Good.
But it also has, like, Being Alive, it has some of his best songs.
I know, really but that's the tricky thing is, and that seems to be what the good tier is becoming right now. Shows that don't really fully work, but have bangers in them. Like, 'cause we got Gypsy, and then we got Merrily, we got Forum.
I think Gypsy works. I think Gypsy, he's the lyricist on it, and it's not, the music isn't as distinctive for that reason because he's not doing it.
Sure.
But I think actually that's a great script, and a really, really, really good show.
Arthur Lawrence, right?
Hmm?
No.
Yeah, Lawrence, yeah.
Where do we put Company? Good?
Yeah, I think that's, yeah, we'll put it good for now.
We can come back. I have a couple that I want to talk about.
A Little Night Music, I think, is God tier.
Yeah, me too. I was going to say same thing. Sunday in the Park is excellent.
Yeah, the second act, but then, still, even as it's flawed, it is so beautiful.
I know, and it is, and in terms of evoking emotion, I don't know another Sondheim show that, the second I start hearing the Sunday chords, I start crying, dude. At 7 o'clock in the morning when you were fucking playing them, and I was hanging out in the apartment, like tidying shit up, I was literally crying the second the chords started, dude. I mean, that to be able to do that is insane. And also, my argument for Sunday always is, when people bitch about the second act, is, what he was trying to do is, the point he's trying to make is still reached. It may be, you're trying to evoke the same feeling that you had at the beginning, or at the end of the first act, at the same time it comes back at the end of the second act. And it works most of the time. And the point he's trying to make about through lines is dated. And, he did date that show forever, and it's a really weird thing, because I think he also tried to not date it, right? I don't know how big Chrome Loom art was, you know? He might have just made some shit. I've never seen it. That's why
my, is that that's when I really want a film adaptation of, and to completely break the act structure in the way that it is, and then have it actually be more of a reflecting back and forth type of deal, and rework it that way in a film where you could do lots of CG or whatever, lots of painting over and all kinds of artistic shit. I think that would be really cool. That's what I've wanted somebody to do with Sunday.
That would be cool. I mean, we got 3. I would put in the God tier for now. We can discuss
Yeah.
if we start to move through the second and final pass of these, because I do want to talk about some of them some more, because I'm now having second thoughts on some of them. Passion for me is an excellent. It's top 3 scores for me of his, but in terms of show, it is fucking boring to watch.
I mean, it is. Yeah, it is that very Italian melodrama kind of thing.
It is the most beautiful Sondheim score. It is so beautiful. It is
and like even some of the relationships.
It's so sexual. It is like it is coming. Yes, the whole score. He starts it with an orgasm. The sting at the beginning is an orgasm.
Literally.
It's noted in the score to be.
Also, that's another one that's the whole thing's on YouTube.
Yep.
The original.
Donna Murphy, baby. Killing it.
Robert Westbrook.
And Robert Westbrook.
A very good repeat Sondheim guy. He doesn't get enough love.
I would put that in excellent, or because it does fit the mold of the others, and good. I mean, it does. I don't know if it works as a whole show because it's an insane message. You won't. And I don't even know if it. I don't even know if there is ultimately a message.
Well, but it is also that thing that I love in works about love, which is why Phantom Thread's my favorite movie. It's about, and why This Must Be the Place is my favorite song, is because they're about how love is a form of madness, kind of, and how love is kind of insane.
Mm-hmm.
And, on its face, and so it really plays into that and heightens it, but it does it in a way that's not as fun.
Takes a long time to get cooking.
Yeah,
and it never really. Again, another Sondheim show that I've watched tons of times because I had to, and it really is a show that simmers but never cooks. It just, you always think some shit's gonna go down. Yes, I mean, all of that's correct in the chat.
Yeah, and I didn't like him in Sunday in the Park with George either.
I'm going to put Passion and Good for right now. We may come back to that. Now, West Side is a tricky one because, I almost feel like it could arguably go in the no feeling category because it is so, in my brain, detached from the Sondheim canon, even though it's some of his best lyrics. I think it's a God tier show, and it's his first big show, and I think it's his first thing that was worth a shit.
Well, so I have a couple feelings here. First of all, the thing about how it's a Bernstein music, right? The show, there's the famous apocryphal story that Sondheim tells of them in a taxi on their way to opening night of West Side Story, or those previews or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And Bernstein turns to Sondheim and he's like, I'm gonna put your name on the marquee. We both really did the music together. You should really be on there. And Sondheim's like, it's too it's fine. It's better to do music, you, lyrics, me, book, whoever, what's his name. And so he's like, all right. And then Sondheim basically screwed himself out of he could have been getting twice the royalties he's been getting on all that music of maybe one of his most popular shows. I just think that's a funny story. But some of the songs, I think.
Is it about the question that we have in the chat now? Is it about him or the show? I mean, if we're talking show.
So then this is my other thought about West Side Story is that it's also in that it is classic and it has so much classic about it, the choreography, the score, all that. But it also has some problematic elements, let's say, and doesn't I don't know.
I don't want to talk about none of these shit. I don't want to talk about the problematicness of these musicals. To be honest.
No, but I'm just saying that I've recently watched the movie and some of it is awesome and I don't know.
We can.
I think it's all iconic, but I'm just saying that it's so dependent on performances.
You want to go excellent? Where do we want to go? This is like the hardest one in the whole thing because it's a god tier musical, right? Like in terms of what it did for the form and what it means to when most people picture musical theater in their head, they picture the Sharks and Jets. Yeah, and God, you know, like so that is this is like a show like Hamilton where it's like really it becomes hard to talk about in some ways.
Right. Well, because it's like, what's the point? Like it's right. It's already the icon, and in some ways, this is like kind of like to Caroline's point about Gypsy too, where it's like Gypsy should be higher because I mean that's another one. It's an iconic role,
Okay, well we're moving Gypsy up, and we're gonna put. Here's what I'm gonna do. I think there's something that needs to be done because that point is very valid, and it's something that needs to be considered in this when we go back to the second pass. So to start our second pass, I feel like we should move Gypsy to excellent.
Okay.
And I think we'll put West Side in God tier because in terms of what it means for the form, it's his most impactful piece. I mean, it's the big. His name is on the biggest piece of American theater besides Hamilton.
Also, something's coming is all him.
Yeah, it's the best, and that's like one of the best songs. That's one of the best songs. All right, so okay.
I think this is good. I don't know.
I do too. I don't know if there's much. The thing that I keep coming back to is that like I love Assassins personally so much that like I want to put it in the God tier. But this isn't about me. This is about the shows. And I think in terms of ranking the shows, this is about as good as we could put together a list.
Like there's something to be said, like not that the wisdom of the crowd or anything. But like, there's something to be said for the fact that Assassins has didn't like the revival did okay, like it did good, but like it was critically well loved, but it didn't like break box office records or anything, and like it's not his big ticket show as much as the people that love it really love it. It's a really tough show. I mean, and I think it's because it's satire like directly, and satire is very very hard. But I think it really does work. It's just a tough one.
I agree.
And not directed, or it can be felled by directing choices that maybe aren't the best.
I completely agree. And now I want to look at the chat. Before we finalize this, I will open opinions in the chat. And this is a dangerous game, I know. But if you're going to move something from one, I'm going to make a rule. If you're going to move something in the top 3, the argument has to be to replace something in its category. Like, something has to move for you. Like, if you're going to take something out, if you're going to put something in the God tier, you got to take something out. Because I'm assuming people are talking moving up and down.
I don't see Into the Woods as God tier.
Yeah, right now, God tier, I have Sweeney Todd. I have A Little Night Music. I have Sunday in the Park. We have West Side Story. Excellent, Gypsy, Into the Woods, Assassins, Pacific Overture, Good, Company, Passion, Merrily, Forum, Fair, Anyone Can Whistle, Follies, Oops, Frogs, No Feelings because we don't know enough to be bitchy.
All the reviews.
Yeah.
And Saturday Night.
Yeah. All the reviews and
Roadshow.
Which I like the score to, but I don't have an opinion about it personally. For me, personally,
I don't see Into as God tier. I don't.
What about Into the Woods specifically makes it God tier? You guys are just saying that it's God tier. Honestly, I am just saying because it's from the Mind Sugar account. I'm just saying like a madman over and over again. Into the Woods is God tier.
We did Forum.
We did Forum. Forum's ain't good. Where would I put Evening Primrose?
I think Forum is right on. I think that I feel good about this. I mean,
I feel good about this too.
The only one that I still debate is Company.
Okay.
Because also that's another one. Thinking about legacy of productions and how many there are, that's one that gets done a lot, and that's one that gets messed around with a lot, and that Sondheim likes people to do that, and because it's sort of like the structure of it, and so like they just redid the gender swapped one or whatever,
right.
And like I think that's cool about it. Like I think even though the book is not strong, like it's not great, but it's also I mean, there's a couple of scenes that are like, whatever, they're kind of just dopey or whatever. But most of them are still, pretty funny or good. And there's some like really good monologues actually in there. I know some people that have used those monologues for auditions a lot.
Caroline, I respect your argument, and I think. I mean, if we're gonna argue that West Side Story needs to be up there culturally, then we need to argue if the chat is going off. If the chat is ready to hashtag cancel us over Into the Woods. Hashtag cancel Harrison. We do it every week. Please cancel me.
The idea, like, I mean, don't get me wrong. No one is alone. Children will listen. No more. I mean, Moments in the Woods. Yeah, those second act songs go hard. Those boom, 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 boom are great. But you have to literally go through fucking 90 minutes to even start to get to them. The music up until that point is which is fine. It's like great. It serves it really well, and it's done really well. Like, I mean, I love all of these shows. I'm just saying that compare that to
or A Weekend in the Country. A Weekend in the Country alone is better than any song in Into the Woods, except for Any Moment.
And I marry the miller's son. Like, are you kidding me? And the fucking trio at the beginning, and like, there is so much going on in there.
Who just said fuck Weekend in the Country? I'm going to ban myself from this chat. Johnny, get your own Twitch account so you can join this chat and I can ban you.
Chats are going
Get
off.
the fuck out of here, you.
Into the Woods is the most classically operatic.
Are you guys so...
In comparison to Little Night Music and Sweeney Todd?
This chat is so hard for Into the Woods right now.
Like
it's good. Yes, it's totally good.
I'm not saying that Into the Woods isn't good. Into the Woods is great.
Guys, did you see it at the place where they shot Lincoln?
Excellent.
A Little Night Music is way more operatic. I'd say Sweeney's.
You're gonna listen.
West
to
Side too, but that's not it. Anyway, I'm gonna honestly.
No, I mean Passion. Also, Passion is probably the most operatic.
Are you guys gonna? Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna save this list, and this is gonna be the official list. And I'm gonna take a screenshot of it, and then we'll make a cute little list for all of you. That's the.
We'll do the chat. We'll do
a chat list where we take.
This is Harrison and my list.
This is our list, and then we'll give you guys your own. We'll start our own list. No, you can also make your own list and send them to me. I would love to look at them. I would love to look at them.
There's a lot happening.
There's a lot happening, though. So some of you obviously have a lot of thoughts. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let our good Lord Gugu head on out. We're gonna end our guest block. This is our list. Thank you for joining us tonight. Go follow him. Come hang
out with me at 7:30 tomorrow.
7:30 tomorrow night, and then on Sunday, which if you like the streams that you see here where it's hanging and all that shit, I feel like it's going to definitely be for you, especially if
Sunday is going to be at 1:30. Yeah, this was fun. I always have fun here with y'all.
And folks at home who know this show, you know what we're going after this, baby. We're going to take a quick little dip dive in the kiddie pool of the rant zone.
Fake switching out. I love that. I love that it was still entertaining.
So folks, I'm gonna take a little break. I'll be back at midnight, do the rant zone, and then I'll be out of here. Think of your topics, send topics until I'm back at 12. Goodbye.